Now, we've made contact with our man on the ground. Our correspondent, Ala Ibrahim, joins us from Damascus. Welcome, Ala. So, as we've been talking over these past few minutes, with the ceasefire entering its fourth day and largely holding, we do see parties involved trading accusations, some even doubting the ceasefire itself. Can we expect this cessation of hostilities, as it's officially called, to hold much longer?
Well, the past 4 days has been a demonstration of international will to make this ceasefire last. Violations that took place in the past 4 days could have easily ended the ceasefire, but the will of Russia and the United States of America have maintained the ceasefire. For example, on Saturday, when rebels fired mortars on the Syrian capital Damascus, an officer in the Syrian military command told me that they received a plea from the Russian control room, which observes the ceasefire, asking them not to retaliate and to refrain from attacking positions where the mortars were fired from. A similar incident took place when Al-Nusra Front, the affiliate of Al-Qaeda, fired mortars and rockets from rebel-held areas in Latakia province to the north of the country, and the Russians did the same, and they asked the Syrian army to refrain from responding. So I think as long as there is an international will by the two major players, the superpowers, Russia and the United States, the ceasefire will hold on. We have to bear in mind that both parties of the conflict are highly dependent on their allies to maintain their supply lines of ammunition and logistics, and as a result, if the allies, and we're speaking here about Russia on the Syrian government side and the US and its allies on the rebel side, if these allies decide that they want to continue to maintain the ceasefire, then the ceasefire would continue. If they decide that it's politically correct for them to end the ceasefire, then they would end it.
And Ala, just give us an idea of how people's lives have been affected. Have they been changed very much during these past relatively peaceful days?
Well, we've heard several complaints from several people about not being able to sleep because they got so used to the sounds of shells and clashes nearby, and now they can't adapt to the new changes in their lives. But to be fair, there has not been any substantial changes in the quality of life. For example, the city of Aleppo, Syria's second largest city, has been cut off from the rest of the country for the past 10 days because of an ISIL attack on the main supply route to the city. The Syrian army has announced this morning that it managed to reopen the road. So for the people of Aleppo, again, Syria's second largest city, there was no ceasefire. People in another city, like the city of Deir ez-Zor, where 200,000 civilians in the largest besieged population in Syria who are completely besieged by ISIL. Also, they did not witness any ceasefire. However, there has been an increase by the delivery of aid by the United Nations. The United Nations says it's hoping to deliver aid to up to 150,000 Syrians by the end of next week, and it will be able to reach another 1.7 million by the end of March this year. So aid delivery has been stepped up, but aside from this, there has been no substantial changes in the quality of life for ordinary Syrians.
All right, Ala, many thanks indeed for the update from Damascus, our correspondent Ala Ibrahim.